What's going on? It's your boy D from DNC Digital back, and we are just less than a week away. We are less than a week away from Mission Pro Wrestling Tournament out of Hell. They're going to be starting their tournament to crown their first Mission Pro Wrestling champion, and it's going to be in Buda, Texas. Hey, what's going on? Everything's good so far. There you go, and we're good. So we're going to be talking. Hey, sis, what's going on? Love you. Gonna be talking to Jennacide today. How you doing?
What's up? I did it. Okay.
Everything's all good. Those are great glasses. What are those?
I wanted to get a little Jennacide charge on and feel off the good energy. So, just in the Jennacide moment right now. Halloween's not
Nice.
over for me ever.
Speaking of Halloween, yesterday was your birthday.
I know, another year older, but yes, I do have the world's coolest birthday, and I am born on Halloween. But I share this day with my twin brother, so I let him get the age. He's the trick, and I am the treat. That's what I say every year, and it hasn't changed. So
I
thank
will
you.
leave that. I will leave that statement alone. But you know what's cool about last night is that you guys had your own Halloween havoc. You and your boyfriend dressed as Hollywood Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Can you tell me what the night was?
So the theme was our own, to your point, bringing back the Halloween Havoc. And I decided to do the Warrior. And it was all like do it yourself. So using things in the house and getting creative. So I'm all about trying to work with what I have. So Ultimate Warrior was put together with things in the house. And he was Mr. Hollywood Hogan. So we had an incredible night. It was the first time ever I've ever had, I bought a new home. So I've had trick-or-treaters come to my house. I never got to experience that before. I've always lived in an apartment or a condo. So I was totally stoked for the kids to see their costumes. And the highlight was seeing a little boy dressed up like Hulk Hogan. So definitely an awesome Halloween. So we had
I
fun.
have to I have to shout out a certain person in the chat. NXT superstar Mercedes Martinez is in the chat. And I know you guys are good friends. You guys go a long way back. So now that she's here and you can put her over, can you talk about your friendship with Mercedes Martinez?
She's in the chat. Oh, wow. I still get excited every time she enters even a chat room. So, and it will never get old. I will be her always loving and adoring number one fan. No matter how big she gets or how big her star grows, I'm always her number one fan watching, and I love her very much. And yes, I will put you over any day of the week, no matter what.
She
So,
actually submitted a question, um, and I guess we can. Well, I mean, this was a fan question because me and Mercedes have gotten cool over the past few months. Are you a natural blonde?
am I in that? Well, I was born at, she got me that. You got me, pop for that. But I was born a natural blonde. However, as you age, your hair gets darker. And Mercedes has even worn some of my blonde wigs and all of my fake hair pieces. I've tortured her and made her do TikToks with me, and she's put on the blonde wig a time or two. So she secretly, I think, wants to be a blonde, but no, not natural anymore.
I went to her. I went to her doing my research, and she's like, "You really want to hit her with something that she was surprised? Ask her if she's a regular blonde or natural blonde." I'm like, "I'm not gonna ask that to a woman. I will be killed. That's not my thing. No."
Yeah, you got me. Good job, mama.
So during the pandemic, a lot of us have either. I feel like it's very black and white. A lot of us have either gone very deep into the fitness world, or a lot of us have packed on the pandemic pounds, as I like to call them. You stated on your social media 15 years ago, you decided to come to the decision that you're going to live a cleaner lifestyle. Can you talk about that transition and what it took for you to make that decision?
Yeah, well, at the time, I was living a very unhealthy lifestyle, whether it be alcohol, drugs, food, whatever it was. 15 years ago, I was going through it, and I decided to clean up my act, and I chose a better life and choosing to, no yo-yo diets. I literally just started eating clean and living a better life and a clean lifestyle. And from there, I found the gym and fell in love with it. And it turns out I was a freak of nature and really strong and good at it. So I lost 50 pounds. At my biggest, I was 250 pounds, and I lost 50 pounds and got in like some real good shape, put on a lot of muscle, lost the fat, and became like a very strong woman, and was in the gym like 6, 7 days a week. It didn't matter. And I just like to lift heavy shit. So that's where this all started 15 years ago when I found the gym.
So now with the everybody's quarantining and everybody's doing the pandemic stuff, I feel like the type of health that supersedes all is the mental health, because this has really messed with us, and staying at home and staring at the TV or staring at the wall, or what can somebody do in this state of the world to join you in that fitness world?
So like everyone, I'm not going to the gym anymore. And for me, that's a big part of my life. So not even being in the gym, I had to at least build a little area for myself in the garage, so I can at least at the end of the day, when I'm done working, go out and at least move my body. I sit at a desk like a majority of my day. I'm sitting. So that's why you guys just see a very bleep period on my social media at the end of the day when I'm raging in my at-home gym. But even if it's just bands, even if it's walking around the block, get outside, the natural light. It will help your mental well-being. We can't just be stuck inside. Mental health is so important to me. Everyone struggles. It doesn't matter who you are. I openly admit I struggle on a daily, but I think that's just life too, and whether it's helping my boyfriend with his current situation or just getting through my typical day, step outside, move your body, and choose the right choices, because it's very easy to go down the wrong path and choose a lot of quick fixes and to ease your mind and choose the numb way. But live life and choose the right things.
We spoke a bit off camera, as they say, earlier today, and we spoke about your boyfriend situation. I know there was just a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges. Can you talk about what exactly happened and what the recuperation process was, and what are we at today?
Yeah, so my boyfriend is Chris Silvio. He's been a wrestler for 20 years. A year and a half ago, he was in the ring with another tag team and got injured doing a tag team finish with someone coming off the top rope and the other person holding him. And then they didn't hit at the right time and back spiked his head and landed on top. He suffered a very severe concussion at that show. Since then, it's been a downward spiral that's happened, and that was the precursor to it all. So he has post-traumatic stress syndrome. He has the concussion syndrome, and it's his brain. So it's a lot of learning right now. Unfortunately, in July, he suffered through some seizures, which was a setback. And that was when I kind of came out and opened about the situation, what happened in July and how it affected our lives. I didn't want to keep a secret anymore. I don't care to keep these people protected. There shouldn't be unsafe people in the ring. Yes, we put our bodies at risk, but this should not have happened. It was a mistake, and not even an I'm sorry came from the person. So that
Not any apology at all.
No, didn't think anything was
Wow.
wrong. So, it just wasn't a very unfortunate situation. But Chris is such an amazing person, inside and outside the ring, and he's been doing this a really long time. He's a coach, and he teaches the right way in the ring. And so we pride ourselves in the program we run here in Florida about teaching a very safe, happy, positive environment for the next generation. And I pray nothing ever happens to anyone in the ring with those people, because unfortunately
I certainly wish him all the best in everything from here on out. You spoke about mental health and how this year it's been excuse me, it's been so hard hitting with so many people. You're very open with your mental health. People who know me know I'm very open with my mental health. What do you credit to the openness of that conversation? Because 10, 15 years ago, I feel like you wouldn't have been able to talk about your problems without somebody looking at you a certain way. Today, people reach out to you. You feel a lot more comfortable talking to a friend or anybody. What do you credit that openness to now for that conversation of mental health?
I think I'm more, and so if if I say something on my platform and I'm going through something or I'm struggling with my mental health and someone reaches out to me, a fan, a friend, and I'm able to help them or they can learn from something I'm going through, if we have this day and age with social media and my story could help anyone, my most rewarding thing is when I have people or children or someone I inspire or can help in any way. That's why I'm open. It might not be the coolest thing to post about, but you know, I don't do anything for the likes or the shares or anything. I'm just me. And I just want to help people and inspire people to be a better person. That's what I'm about.
That's so cool. You know, to follow up with that, how do you feel about that platform? You're such a, you know, you're like a Amazon, you know, warrior type woman and strong and lifting weights, and you can inspire so many people. I can easily see a bunch of little girls coming up to you saying, "Wow, you're so strong. You kick butt." How do you feel about that platform for young ladies out there in the world?
I love it. The one thing that I make, no matter who you are or what size of child, adult, anytime someone wants to take a picture with me, I have them flex their muscle with me. Pretty majority of the time, every photo I take with someone, I'll make them flex because it's the muscle army. And you know, one fan started that hashtag for me, and you know, it is the muscle army. If I can have people feel strong no matter what size, they'll be like, oh, I don't have muscle. I don't have, oh, shut up and flex your muscle and be empowered to do something you never thought you could do. You know what I mean? So I love it. I have so many pictures of children flexing all over the world, and I have them all. They're in my office. You know, they inspire me. You know, I'm not able to have children, and so it's a way for me that, okay, I can't have kids. So this is my legacy to all of these children that hopefully I can inspire. And they're always like, oh, you can kick Ronda Rousey's ass. These little girls once said that at a show. I'm like, oh, honey, if you only knew. But yeah, sure, you think that.
We're gonna let that one go.
I know, right?
So you know, talking about inspiring and giving this image out to people, you were part of the relaunch of Mission Pro Wrestling in Hell Hath No Fury. You debuted Jennacide, and we'll get to her in a second. But can you tell me what the morale was backstage? Can you tell me what the feeling was when Thunder Rosa gave that speech at the end that put tears in so many eyes like myself?
Here, I don't know if I could do a close-up. Thinking of her speech at Mission Pro, those are
I
goosebumps.
see them.
Those
I
are
see them.
goosebumps because the way she talked and like in her heart of hearts and what she's doing for women is just amazing. And she gave that speech and it was incredible. The energy, you just felt it. It's women empowering women and it's not all the bullshit. And it was like pure, like coming from a good place. And I was just, I'm like, oh, I get to be a part of this. I'm just happy to be there. And I was like, yes, sister, we got your back. Whatever you need. Yes. But I understand the mission. So I was just happy to be a part of it. And I'm glad the fans really enjoyed it. And guess what? I get to go back. So I'm stoked to be a part of it.
So, like I said, you debuted Jennacide. It was supposed to be Jenna Van Muscles, but Jennacide came out, and Jennacide was victorious. What is the difference between those two women, and why Jennacide now?
I know. You know what? I thought after being kind of going through, we're all in quarantine and everything. I thought a lot about, it's a time when, okay, we're not able to be in the ring or perform. So I thought a lot about who I am today and kind of the evolution of my wrestling journey the past 6 years. Jenna Van Muscles was a really strong girl that found wrestling, and that was 6 years ago. Through that and kind of the last few chapters of my life, growing my training, whether it was jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, different kind of strength training, wrestling, learning from the greatest, you know, like Mercedes Martinez, Chris Silvio, Rain, Matt Seidel. I could go on and on. You know, I've evolved and I've transitioned into a kind of a threat like no other in the ring. So that is where Jennacide comes from. It's who I am today after 6 years of kind of becoming a better version of myself.
Doing all the research, I learned that 6 years ago, at least from where I read it, it's been credited that Rain was your main trainer. Can you talk about how instrumental Rain was to your career?
Yeah, so I wanted to get involved in wrestling, and her name was passed down, and was like, okay, if you want to wrestle, you need to go here. This is who needs to train you. And it was at a place called the Slam Shack. And it was a little garage gym out back of Lexi Fly's house. And that is where Bonnie, aka Rain, was running a training program. And so I found her 6 years ago. And yeah, that's where I learned all of the basics and starting out. And it was a lot of tough love that happened in those trainings, but all from a very good place. And that's where I met Mercedes, you know what I mean? So
There she is.
there she is. Yeah, she was actually coming back from an injury at the time, and there was me, this stacked bodybuilder. I could barely move. I was like a giant, real, like, could barely, as stiff as a board in there. But yeah, I got to learn with some of the greatest women in wrestling in the Slam Shack. So no complaints there.
I learned that professional wrestling is not the only physical sport that you took part in. At least one more that I learned about. Can you tell me about the competitiveness and the physicality of roller derby?
Well, I've done all sorts of things, and yes, derby was a bleep in one of the things that I did, in addition to many other crazy things. But at the time was when I first was wrestling 6 years ago, and I started roller derby at the same time. So I was like, my body was getting so beat up doing both, and you know, roller derby was like, wrestling was my heart, and I was like, I chose wrestling and didn't want to do the roller derby. My ankles were not up for that. There were bigger girls than me trying to take me out on the track. So yeah, I stuck with the wrestling more so than the roller derby.
So you mentioned Rain, you mentioned Matt Seidel, you mentioned Mercedes Martinez, who's my new best friend, or still in the chat. All that hard work led you to having an NXT match against Sonya Deville. Can you talk about that experience and what that was like for you?
Yeah, so that was way before Jennacide and the years of experience under my belt. I'll throw that back to being barely a year and a half doing live shows with not as much experience probably as one hoped for a big opportunity. But either way, I got the opportunity to be there. It was the biggest kind of stage and moment I had in my very short career so far. So no, it was one of her first few matches there, and it was my first time at NXT, so was not victorious in that one, but put up a good effort.
Any conversations that were had, backstage, if you can humor us with that, and any words of wisdom from anybody back there?
Yeah, well, for me, I got some feedback, and well, I took that, and you know, most people could take that feedback and that criticism after a match, and you know, they could either quit or choose to take it and run with it. I took it and I ran with it and haven't stopped since. So I'm always open to exploring whether they want to talk again. So, you know, don't ever quit or anything with, you know, if you get your chance and what didn't go as how you thought, or you're learning, you know, take it and run with it. I could fully admit I was not ready for Sonya Deville there.
Got a wrestling historian in the chat, old wrestling buddy of mine. He's saying hello, Jenna.
Hi.
Anybody in the chat who wants to shoot any questions, I'm more than happy to relay all of them. I know Mercedes Martinez came in immediately and wanted to ask a question. So you're not the only star in your family. You mentioned that you have a twin brother. Is that the same brother that has a band?
No, I actually have three brothers. I have a twin brother. That's who you see me most of the time with, my little nephew. He's in Florida as well. And I have two older brothers that live in Texas. And I have a sister the same age who's adopted. So we're like triplets. So there's three of us in Florida and two older in Texas. And the one in Texas is a rock star, yes.
And so what's the name of his band? If we
it's not a band. I would say, I could tell you, he had a big 80s hair band when I was growing up, and that's where I learned all about the music jams. And his one band was called Guilt Trip. The other one was Soulmates Dinner Club. I could sing you old songs from back then that he showed me. And now he is a guitar player for another band, and they do lots of covers in Texas. And he's also a teacher.
Hey, good for him. That's a very thankless job. We thank you for all of that. I learned the hard way this past year, all the stuff that he has to go through, and just it was just a fraction. It was just one student's worth of what he would go through.
Yeah, I can't even imagine during this time doing what he does. I'll
And
stick to
how about your mother having a past in the dance world? She looked very lovely doing her thing in the pictures that you put up on your social media.
Yeah, Mama's my number one fan, best friend. She was a Broadway dancer and she was a rockette. So you know all of the dancers with the canes.
Wow, she was a rockette.
Yes, she was a rockette and she danced on some amazing Broadway hits. That's also where she met my father. Their story,
Oh,
their story is he used to help her get off stage at the end of her show, and that is how they met. He worked the lights in a Broadway theater in New York, and that's where their love story began.
that
So
is one of the coolest love stories. That's getting me all. That's one of the coolest
oh,
stories ever. I'm gonna.
you see
Man,
Mercedes.
he was working the lights, so he was putting the spotlight on your mom already.
Oh, I know. Do you see Mercedes there? She said, "Dance, Mama, dance," because she knows I cannot dance. It does not run in my genes. My father was a football player and a linebacker, and that is who I took
That's where. Okay,
over.
that's where it is. A wrestling historian is saying, "What match inspired you to become a wrestler, and favorite women's match you've ever seen?" Thanks, wrestling historian. Hey, Roxy, what's going on, Roxy?
Oh, Roxy, what's up?
Roxy's here.
You want to go again?
Roxy wants to go again.
She's like, no, Jennacide, no, not again. Well, my favorite match that I could say, because Mercedes is right here. Did you see that cage match with her and Rhea?
Oh my God, that was insane.
If I had a
She does.
microphone, I would drop it right now, because anytime I get to watch her, I'll mark out a little bit. But yeah, that talk about women's history in a cage match. I think they just set the bar real high. There's Roxy. No,
No,
not
they
again.
easily did.
Please, not
Roxy
again.
said she wants to go again.
Oh, she did? I guess I should put my other real glasses on. I thought she said no.
Here's a question. Okay, so let's say you're in a Survivor Series team. It's you and 4 other women, any era. Who are your teammates?
Oh, that I can't answer a question that clearly. Well, you could pick 2 right now that are women, right?
Yeah,
Mercedes, Rain. There's 2.
Mercedes and Ray.
The other 2, China, gotta have, and then probably, oh, that's a tough one.
It's always the last one. It's always the last one.
I know. Beth Phoenix.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be Beth Phoenix.
I gotta get it for the big girls.
Yeah. Jasmine Allure is also in the chat. How you doing, Jasmine? Hope all is well. Everybody's in the chat. I love this. Having a good time here.
This is
So,
my first time doing a live, so I have no idea.
it's our first time doing a live. Hey, awesome. Anybody in the chat, just shoot out any question. Here's one. Ruiz Mark. I'm assuming it's Mark Ruiz. What kind of nutrition regimen are you on?
I am on a high protein, low carb diet. I eat my carbs, just there's certain ones. I'm very open that I struggle with some internal, I got lots going on. I suffer with polycystic ovarian disease and I have cysts and everything, and nutrition affects how I feel and my internal and all of my health issues. And so it was basically, I had to teach myself what works for my body and experimenting. So certain things that might be normal for other people to eat could really affect how I feel. So I eat what works for my body, and that took years of experimenting. I do not starve myself. I do not kind of inhibit. If I'm craving chocolates or dessert, I eat it. You know. Sorry.
No, you're good.
But I do a high protein. I don't really take many supplements, and you know, I make sure I get my meals in. I eat 5-6 times a day. So constantly eating.
You will be.
I'm ready for Mercedes to pop up in the chat now how many times a day I eat. She comes over and can see how much I consume. Clearly not starving myself.
So Friday, in just a few days, Mission Pro Wrestling Tournament Out of Hell will be back in Buda, Texas, streaming live on the Title Match Network. You, Jennacide, will be going one-on-one with the Woad, the weapon of ass destruction, as she says. Not your first match with her though.
No.
This is a history that you got specifically. I got written down here. Shine 65. Can you talk about working with the Woad and what you're expecting from her?
Definitely. So I was in the ring with Woad. It was back in Shine. One of the last times I was in New York for Shine before all this craziness happened. And yeah, I mean, she was a tough component. We had one hell of a banger. But yeah, that ended in a DQ. So no real winner yet. But
Oh, so we need to find a definitive winner. But it looks like Mercedes Martinez already has a horse in the race. She said Woad is going to back that ass up on you.
yeah, she might back it up, but I'm gonna
You
kick
sure?
it
You're
right
sure?
back.
You guys are friends, right? Because every little exchange that I see between you guys has been pretty confrontational.
Oh, all with love.
All with love. It's always with love. You're always the worst person to one of your good friends. I feel the same way with my buddies.
Yeah,
Um,
I know. She's like, God, I hope Woad Rikishi's you. No kidding.
I got here that you mentioned Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu. Did that do any kind of preparation for your pro wrestling career, or is that a totally different type of training altogether?
A totally different kind of training. I started doing Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu probably 2 years ago. One place it was before I moved in my current home right now. I was doing Muay Thai for an hour and then doing Jiu Jitsu for an hour back to back 3 times a week. I learned all of like the basics starting out there. I got to 3 stripes in my white belt rolling. So super honored to even do that. I learned a lot. I even brought Miss Mercedes, who's listening right now, into a couple sessions. She liked choking me way too much for for what I remembered. But yeah, I learned some stuff there, and now I'm training fully in Muay Thai several times a week privately right now. Just with everything going on to be safe, but I love it. I've lost since quarantine in March. I've lost 35 pounds. So
What?
yeah, but and it's
I got.
I credit it
I think
all
I
to Muay
gained.
Thai.
Is that Shelton Benjamin?
Oh, what's up? Look
Shelton
at it.
Benjamin is in the chat right now.
Yeah, he
Shelton,
is. What's
sir,
up, Shelton?
huge fan. I am a huge fan. Holy crap! I met Shelton and Mr. Benjamin. I do not want to make you feel old, but I met Shelton 17 years ago. I met
17
him.
years ago.
I met him in New York at an autograph session. He was there with Charlie Haas and he was there with Paul Heyman. Man, that's so cool. Sheldon Benjamin
Isn't
is
he
in
just
the
the
chat.
isn't he just the coolest guy?
He is. He was so cool. He was very, very nice that day, and I appreciate him, sir. I'm a huge fan. I appreciate you being in the chat.
I'm a fan of
Um,
his too. Definitely.
let's go back to Mission Pro Wrestling. I feel like Thunder Rosa is on the front of a ship and just yelling at everybody. Oh, Sheldon, what's going on, sir? I see you. Yeah, you are immortal. Immortal. You haven't aged a day. I don't get it. I just do
I
not get it.
know. Can you
He
bottle up
looks
your
better
genetics and give
somehow
me some?
now.
Shelton, I need
Hey, oh,
whatever
by the way,
regimen you
Sheldon,
have.
sir, good job on the suit game. I'm very, very, very admirable suit game. But let's go to Mission Pro Wrestling. I feel like Thunder Rosa is on the front of a ship, just yelling at everybody, saying, "We're coming, we're coming." How important is Mission Pro Wrestling to women's wrestling today, and what can they do for women in the future of pro wrestling?
No, I mean, Mission Pro right now is giving girls that, kind of like me, like maybe some unseen talent given an opportunity. There's so much hype. There's so many eyeballs and people watching. There's some of us that are getting a platform that we haven't had before. And so that's why I'm stoked, and other women should be wanting to get on this platform, because guess what? Yeah, she's marching the ship and we're coming, and I'm all aboard. I only got an opportunity for my first one. It's amazing what they're doing, and they're bringing in, people like myself, and I get to be a part of it. So I think she's a pioneer for women, and I love that every, oh, Sorry, Shelton
He says
Salty.
he has a delay on his messages.
Oh,
Mr. Benjamin, I'm going to send you a message in a second. I want to say what's up.
but
What do you
yeah,
want people's biggest takeaway to be of Mission Pro Wrestling after the show?
no, I think it's something that if you love women's wrestling, please tune in. It's on Title Match Network, November 6th. The first one was amazing. This next one's going to be even bigger, and it's only the beginning for Mission Pro. So climb aboard if you're a wrestling fan, because you're in store for a treat. You know, you get to help build the fan base for Mission Pro and what kind of Thunder Rosa is helping to create for all of us, and come aboard this amazing mission. So I definitely have my mission locked and loaded, and I'm excited to go back.
Jennacide, I want to thank you so much for all your time. This was a whole bunch of fun. It was really cool to talk to you, and I appreciate your time. I'm going to be seeing you Friday. Can you tell everybody where to find you on social media?
Definitely. Jennacide, triple zeros after that. That's on Instagram. That's on Twitter. On Facebook, it's Jenna Lynn Van Bemmel. Just Google Jennacide. You'll find me. Sorry, I'm not the most social savvy person. But yeah, I'm a little busy, but I will try to get back to you if you message me. I love all my fans and followers, and I appreciate people like you taking the time out to talk to me. So I'm stoked. I'll see you on Friday.
On Friday. So if you're following me, follow Jennacide. Her name is right there. Click on her and follow her. If you're following Jenna, make sure you click there and follow me. I'm looking at you, Mercedes. So
Yeah,
it's going to be
go
Mission Pro
follow D.
Wrestling.
That's you
Yeah,
too,
follow me,
Shelton,
DNC
or anyone
Digital.
else in the chat. Go wherever that button is he pointed to.
It's up there somewhere. It's Mission Pro Wrestling Tournament Out of Hell. It's Friday, November 6th in Buda, Texas. Social distancing will be enforced. Masks will be required. Temperatures will be taken at the door. If you are still uncomfortable going to the show, totally understandable. You can still catch it by watching the stream on Title Match Network. I want you to guys really follow Mission Pro Wrestling, follow Jennacide, follow Mercedes Martinez because she's a badass. She's in there. I gotta get on her good side. I already am, but I gotta keep
Trust me, you don't
the,
want to
the
be
ball
on
rolling.
her bad side because
No, I do not want to be on her bad side. No,
I have been
no.
a witness to that.
Everybody, take care of yourselves. Wear your masks. Go out and vote. Be nice to each other, and have a great night.
Bye, y'all. Thank you so much for the support.